everyone, in this tutorial I'll show you how to recreate this exposed skull look. I wanted to create a look like this for a while now. When I was trying to find the skull prosthetic for the look, I tried to find the cheapest one I could online. So I'll link the seller I got it from eBay down below. And all the makeup I'm using for this look is from Mallet's Costumes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Now let's begin. Before applying the prosthetic, make sure the prosthetic fits around your eyes. If it doesn't, slowly cut into it. Obviously, it's important for you to be able to see while you're wearing the prosthetic. Now, there's different things you can do to adhere the prosthetic to your skin. I'm using the cheapest and simplest method I know, and that's spirit gum. The prosthetic actually came with the spirit gum and spirit gum remover. Apply the spirit gum to the parts of the prosthetic that make direct contact with your skin and also to your skin that is touching the prosthetic. You must wait for the spirit gum to become tacky before applying the prosthetic to the skin. If it isn't tacky, the prosthetic won't adhere to the skin. Apply the prosthetic so that the very outer edges of it fold away from your skin. This will act as the skin around the skull. You can always use latex and tissue or nose and scar wax to create the open skin, but I thought this was 10 times easier and very simple for those of you who aren't very familiar with makeup or just trying to find the perfect Halloween look. I trimmed the bottom of the prosthetic because I wanted there to be some like bloody skin or like bloody muscle tissue. You don't have to trim the prosthetic if you don't want to. You can just apply it the way it is. Make sure the prosthetic moves along with your facial expression so that it's comfortably on your face. And if it isn't, just go ahead and take it off and then reapply it. Now I'm using 3rd degree, which is a silicone compound, to create the open skin on the bottom portion of the face. I then dabble the 3rd degree onto the parts I want to look like bloodied up cut skin. I also sporadically apply some of the 3rd degree to the flap of the prosthetic, around the skull, and right above the edge of the flap where the skin and prosthetic meet. I do this to create a seamless line between the prosthetic and skin so they look like one. It doesn't look like a prosthetic on my face. You want it to just seamlessly blend in. There are different products you can use to mimic skin, but 3rd degree is just so much better than them. It's better than nose and scar wax. I like it more than latex. So if you're getting into FX makeup, I highly suggest you check it out. I'm so glad I did. Now I use a black water activated face paint to black out the eyes, nostrils, and random areas on the skull. I prefer to use the water activated face paints because they last a very long time without smudging. Now like cream or grease face paints, when you apply them to the eye, you have to set them with an eyeshadow because if you don't, it's going to smudge and it's going to look horrible, and that's why I just prefer to use water activated face paints on the eye. I'm using Mehron's black face paint. To paint the bloody areas, I use both of the red grease paints in Mehron's Bruise palette. The lighter red of the two I use as the main color for each bloody area, and then I go back with the darker red of the two to add detail and depth to the areas. You can apply those colors all around the outer perimeter of the face. You're going to have to go back and forth between the two colors a lot and even mix them together at times. You want to make sure you use at least 2 different shades of red to bring dimension to the look. If it's just one red color, it's going to appear very flat. It's not going to look as realistic. So no matter what you're using, whether if you're using a grease paint, cream face paint, or like a water activated face paint, you just want to make sure you have at least 2 different tones of red. I start applying a thick blood all around the mask, just in random parts and around the bloody areas. I also apply the liquid blood to the top of the forehead and let it drip down. Make sure you got a brush on hand to fix any mistakes or stop the blood from dripping into your eye. I used a cheap dollar store vampire blood and then used a thick blood and sporadically applied it around the 3rd degree of mask. I focus a lot on the edges where the skin and skeleton meet. Thick blood is awesome because it stays put and it doesn't budge. It also doesn't dry up. So if you're going to be anything that involves like blood for Halloween, it's very important to have a thick blood because liquid blood after a while just dries up and looks like fruit punch, whereas thick blood looks like blood and it stays with that like liquid glossy look all night. Now you're going to use a foundation similar to your skin color to paint the open skin. Make sure you blend that foundation onto your real skin, so where the skeleton prosthetic meets your real skin, so everything blends in seamlessly together. At first I wanted to leave the prosthetic the way it was pre-painted, but after applying the blood I thought it looked kinda too fake, so I added a bit of white grease paint from my Nye Monster Wheel to areas of the mask that didn't have blood on it. I used a cosmetic sponge that I ripped up to stipple on the grease paint, which helps give the look more texture. I finally used a gray grease paint from Nye and a gray shadow from my Beauty Mark Cosmetics 28 eyeshadow palette to shade the teeth. The teeth that are pre-painted on this prosthetic do not look cool at all. It just looks horrible, so you should probably add a little bit of like gray or yellow if you want. So that's it. Please give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Please support my channel. Give the video a thumbs up. I work very hard on my tutorials and it means a lot to me. This is my first time using Final Cut Pro. So yay! Anyway, so I'll let the tutorial end. See you next time. Bye.